As we get closer to the 2024 elections, it is time that we talk about arguably one of the most fascinating Senate races of this cycle. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video today. It is time that we talk about the 2024 Senate race in the state of California. Because as many of you know, yes, there in fact is a Senate race happening in the state. And on paper, this is a race that not a lot of people are talking about, which I think is actually disservice because this is one of the more fascinating races of next year. It's only in 2 to 3 months. So I wanted to talk about, how this race is shaping up and who the candidates are and all that good stuff. But first, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you could join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. Now, let's be clear about one thing. Democrats have like a 99.9% chance of winning this race. Let's just be clear about that. With that being said, there still is that 1% chance a Republican could pull it off by some ungodly miracle. And there's even a 0.1% chance of Operation Chaos, which longtime viewers know I call Operation Chaos because if it happened, happens, I should say, it is the definition of chaos. But I'll explain that in a second. Let's just get into it. So, there's 3 main Democrats running. Adam Schiff, Katie Porter, and Barbara Lee. Now, it's sickening that Katie Porter and Adam Schiff, one of them is going to be a senator by the end of the year, now of next year. One of them. The fact that Adam Schiff's even in consideration, let alone the front runner, I'm just sick to my stomach thinking about that. That guy knew he was lying to the American people, but he did it anyways. To stop Orange Man. And now he gets rewarded, possibly with a Senate seat. This should make everybody sick to their stomachs, but is anybody really surprised that this is happening? Also, Katie Porter has no reason being anywhere near the Senate either. So of the 3 Democrats, the best one is probably Barbara Lee. To be clear, she isn't, some MAGA, America First, conservative. Let's be clear about that. But Barbara Lee, compared to the other bozos, has one good policy position, and that's related to foreign policy. She's one of the only real anti-war Democrats left. Not the, I'm anti-war, but I want to support endless wars across, across the world. Not that. She's actually anti-war in the sense of, why are we sending, billions upon billions of dollars worth of military equipment across the world that are being used to kill people? Why? She's one of the few anti-war Dems left. So just that fact alone, I do think she's the best choice. But let's just get into it. All right. Congressman Adam Schiff holds a clear lead in the race to represent California in the U.S. Senate, according to a new Politico/Morning Consult poll, leaving him well positioned to advance after the upcoming March primary. The fiercer fight is for the number 2 spot in the general, with Republican Steve Garvey and Democrat Congresswomen Katie Porter and Barbara Lee in a dead heat. Yes, Steve Garvey's running. I did not remember seeing that, but Steve Garvey, a really good baseball player, he decided, I'm going to run for the Senate. Garvey has positioned himself as a Trump agnostic moderate, while Porter and Lee are more closely associated with Schiff with their party's progressive wing, with Barbara Lee being I would say the real progressive, in the sense of she's anti-war, decent on some other issues. The scramble for second place will determine whether the November election will erupt into a protracted inter-party battle between 2 Dems, or a more lopsided red versus blue contest in a staunchly liberal California. Schiff, the 12-term Democrat from Burbank, leads with 28% of likely voters. 12 terms? He's been in Congress that long? I did not know that. Including those who are undecidable, leaning towards supporting him. Former Los Angeles Dodgers star Garvey falls with 19%, while Porter has 17% and Lee notches 14%. A statistical three-way tie. Republicans James Bradley and Eric Early lag behind with 7% apiece, with Christina Pasquille, a Democrat and former news anchor, is at 4%. So, yeah. He has, I should say, we have a three-way race essentially for second. Garvey, Porter, and Lee. That's what this is going to come down to. But there's the 0.1% chance we'll get to in a minute. But Garvey is actually doing really good. He just announced in late October, I think it was. And he's already at almost 20%. He's done basically nothing. So I think Garvey is a very solid recruit. Now, Garvey has like a 0.1% chance of winning, if that. One, maybe one. We're pushing it. But I think he will do better than expected in a general. I don't think he's going to get within like 15, but he could get within 20. I'm not saying it happens, but it's possible. I think he is well liked enough and he's well known that he could pull something off like that. But for being realistic, I want Barbara Lee to take second. In this scenario of Adam Schiff's up by so much and Lee's only a couple points behind. I think Barbara Lee's our best option. If you want somebody that's halfway competent in foreign policy, that's our candidate. I disagree with her a lot of other stuff, but she's at least decent on one thing. What's good about Adam Schiff or Katie Porter? Katie Porter's a hack. Well, Adam Schiff? Yeah. He's known for for impeaching Trump or helped to do that and lied to the American people. The findings show a notable bump for Garvey from previous polls of the race. Since he declared his candidacy in October, he's kept a minimal campaign presence with limited public appearances. The top Democrats, meanwhile, have been crisscrossing the state most of the year to woo their party's base. But that's just fascinating that Garvey's already at 20%. That's a big deal because he just announced a month ago, or 2 months ago, has done nothing. It shows you that he has the name recognition. People know who Steve Garvey is, especially in California. He's a legend out there for baseball. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame, but he was a damn good player. So, yeah, he is a very well-known guy and seems like very well-liked. And he's running as the moderate, Republican here, which California, you kind of have to. But there is one possibility, all right? I call this Operation Chaos because if we get Operation Chaos that happens, we could win. Now, for the usual primary system in California is you have a Democrat, or actually not Democrat, you have a jungle primary. That means the two top vote getters move on to the general. That's California's system. Not a big fan of it, but that's how you do it. Now, usually Democrats have been blocking Republicans every single year, especially with 5 major Dems running and like 1 major Republican running. But it appears Garvey's going to take second as of now without doing anything really. And breaking into the top 2 would be a coup for California Republicans, who have struggled in statewide races and risk being locked out of the contest in November if Garvey's unable to consolidate enough GOP voters. And that's the big thing. Garvey's already at 19%, which is a big deal. But there is one X factor that can throw this race off any course of making any sense. Operation Chaos. That's why I coined it as. Operation Chaos is essentially a loophole that people that know, they know. For those that don't know, remember what I said. The 2 top vote getters move on. Well, it doesn't have to be a Democrat or Republican. It can be both Republicans. And that's going to be a problem for some Dems, especially in this race. Let's just say James Bradley drops out and Eric Early goes up to 14%. Just an example. That's a big deal. He's already possibly closing in. But the biggest question mark is the presidential primaries happening, I believe, the same day. You know what that means? You know what that means? Republican turnout is going to be far higher than usual compared to the Dems. Yeah, there's a presidential primary for Dems, but Republicans can be more enthusiastic to vote, which could level the playing field. And hey, if the electorate's more Republican than expected, all right, there's a possibility, it's very unlikely, it's like a 0.1%, but if James Bradley drops out or whatever, and the other Republicans, they consolidate behind Early and Garvey, or Bradley and Garvey, whatever, and Republicans have higher turnout than expected, there is a slim possibility 2 Republicans end up at the top of the ticket, destroying the jungle primary. Because let's face it, the second something like that would happen, suddenly this is undemocratic. We are going to have to get rid of the jungle primary in California. I think Republicans should try to do that. Tell Bradley or Early, one of the 2 bozos, drop out and endorse the other guy. And pray to God Republican turnout's much higher than expected. Because if each get 25, let's just say 20%. Each get 20% of the vote, all right? And Adam Schiff doesn't do as good as expected. You have a problem for Dems. And that's the risk with the system. But either way, folks, I kind of hope I actually really hope it happens, because we would suddenly see the system just go away. It would disappear in a second. Oh, this is undemocratic. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.